You guys are sure sending some interesting feedback. I can always tell the guys who are building their business because they send me the feedback and the questions which are really relevant to everything that's going on. And it's kind of neat. You know, I've been through all these same steps, and as I continue on with this journey, building my business, these questions you guys are presenting me are very pertinent to building your business and continued maintenance and growth of your business. So it's really kind of neat. I could answer these questions all day. You know, most interesting questions I find are typically the boring ones, you know what I mean? Bare bones, the basics, those are boring. And those are the questions everybody needs addressed. You know, the meat and potatoes, the basics of business. So here's just a question that came across my screen this morning. It's from Chris. Question for your blog. How do you manage cash flow on such a seasonal crop like honey? Do you store it and sell it off in blocks, or do you sell a lot and put the money in the bank? You see, there you go. There's a really good question, and that's basically geared just to the basics of business management, right? So I'll tell you what I do. So basically you got to understand my farm is very diverse. We operate a large grain, cattle, and honey farm. I'm president of the farm, so I handle all of our accounts. I handle the finances and debt management, you know, farm planning and all this kind of stuff. That's what my responsibilities are. And cash flow management is also one of those responsibilities. As a beekeeper, just as a beekeeping enterprise, you have to understand I belong to Bee Made Honey. Bee Made Honey is a cooperative. We pack our own honey and sell it all across Canada. So our honey delivered to Bee Made is paid to us throughout the year on payments according to their sales, and the revenues coming into Bee Made is distributed amongst all the beekeeping members. So I get like 4 or 5 payments all through the year, which spreads out my cash flow, which kind of satisfies that issue. In regards to a lot of beekeepers who sell wholesale, they sell lots at a time, and you can space out your sales, or you can sell it all at once. I'll just tell you what we do in our farm. What we like to do is we like to stage out our sales throughout the year. For one thing, it helps with workload, delivery of our crop. Another thing is we have a lot of debt we have to maintain and a lot of operating costs that are associated. So we plan out our sales according to debt management and according to our workload. At the same time, we throw into the plan, we deal through the futures and options markets just to manage our pricing risk, okay? You wouldn't really do that as much with honey as we do with the other commodity trades. But you can stage out your sales like that. And that's probably a wise investment. Staging out your sale through the year just helps you average out the price you're going to be getting for your product. And what you want to do is you kind of want to match up the sale of your commodity, like your honey, or in our case, the grains and their livestock. You want to match those sales up with, like, if you have debt payments or big operating expenses. So you want to match them all up. Stage it out through the year to even out your pricing risk. And yeah, so let's say you drift into fall and the packer offers you a fortune for your honey. So you sell the whole bloody crop right there in October. You get that lump sum money dropped into your bank account, and some people don't know how to handle that. So one thing you can do is take portions of that money and stage it, like throw it into GICs or whatever, staged for, you know, requirements you need later on. Just little things like that, right? Just helps you manage your money better. Because you have to make sure your outflow matches your inflow, and you got to make sure you have more inflow than outflow, right? Our farm, I deal with millions of dollars in and out of our account, and I do that through operating credit. So it's like sticking a square peg through a little round hole sometimes. You know what I mean? So you got to really strategize, and you got to put a lot of effort into balancing the inflows and the outflows. But that's a lot of fun, and that's what business is all about, balancing your ledger and making sure business flows smoothly. Okay, so I appreciate the question. It's a really good question. You said you're building your business and you just want a little bit of feedback on money management, and that's just one way you manage cash flow. When you get really in depth into your farm business and you acquire some debt and all this good stuff, you'll be putting financials together, and these financials will come together. Then you can start incorporating some money management strategies like ratios, financial ratios and all that kind of good stuff. It helps you measure your performance of your business and gives you an idea where your business is at, and it just allows you to peg where you're comfortable with your risk management. The ratios spell it all out for you. It just helps you read what's going on in your business. Just allows you to think a little bit ahead and determine whether or not you can take on debt according to your business plans or your historical averages and all this kind of stuff. So that's where it really gets interesting. I handle all that stuff on our farm, and it's really dry, and it's hard to convey all this information to your partners in business and business performance. But by using simple strategies like ratios, you can convey business performance really easily without the guys toning out and drifting off into daydream and such. It's just another way you can measure your business performance and help you manage your cash flow accordingly. So that's just a little bit of feedback. Guys, keep the questions coming. I love them. I find this very interesting, and I appreciate all the feedback.